two, one. Come on. Level up. Level up. All right. Bill, you shouldn't have been eating today right now. But whatever. Hi you guys. I am going to try to keep to this commitment and every day I'm going to get better at it. So, um today I wanted to talk about how to stay healthy and how to stay fit. And I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, yeah, it's the summertime. That's typical thing to talk about, but constantly for me, how to stay fit. When I think about fitness, I don't think about just the overall physical, the physical standpoint of it, exercise and moving your body, eating healthy foods. I think about staying fit is, part of revitalizing your mind, sharpening your mind, getting wiser, um, exercising your brain, exercising, uh, being around healthy people who strengthen your character, who strengthen you inside and out. Um, so with that being said, I wanted to talk about the power of moving in silence. And these are some of the things that I've learned uh, during this process, during this journey that I've been through. Um, so hopefully, if you guys listen to it and take some of the things that I've learned, it might make your journey a little bit smoother. Um, some of the things that I had trouble with because I didn't move in silence. Moving in silence, I'll tell you this first of all, moving in silence is can be a lifesaver. It can help you in a lot of ways. Um, and it can prevent a lot of things. Sometimes moving in silence can hinder you, but for the most part, it won't if you do it at the right time and you open up at the right time. Um, for the most part, not moving in silence can affect you um, physically and most of all, mentally. I think the process that I had was more of the psyche, because it was out into the open and it was able to be penetrated through when I didn't have enough time to proofread it myself. So that brings me to the first thing. The first thing I had was um, telling people about the developments or the ideas that I was given or God gave me to do. And I thought that was a great thing because when God deposit things or you get these ideas and you get these innovative like thoughts and patterns and everything, you want to express it. Sometimes it's so good you just want to go and talk, and tell someone that you care about and to get it out. Also, I'm a person that is a more cognitive person, meaning that I speak out. Sometimes I have to talk things out, even if no one's listening. I can, when I talk it out, it sounds, I'm able to grasp it sometimes more. Even though I'll think it and I can grasp it when I'm thinking, but some things are better said to me, and I can comprehend and hear different things. Um, so when I opened up my mouth, this I'm telling you, this was the worst thing I could have done. Um, and I'm going to tell you guys, never do this. Never tell anyone this during the infancy stage. I opened my mouth about an idea. I won't tell you exactly which idea it was, but this was a time. Now, thank goodness that the idea still came to thought. But had I not did this, had I moved in silence, this wouldn't have happened to me. I expressed this idea that was put into my head, and I told someone, someone that I thought that I was really happy for me and really, would be happy for me, and help me. And this is the thing that I got. Well, how are you going to do that? Why are you going to do that? That sounds kind of silly. Blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. It was so many things that I was getting shot down from. and it kind of hindered my psyche because it was something, when you have new ideas, it's something different, something new. If it's an idea, it's not an old, usually it's not an old idea. And if it's still an idea, it's something that you haven't done before. So sometimes you get nervous about it. So expressing it to other people, who you feel comfortable around, you expect a certain level of support and dignity with expressing your ideas and receiving others' ideas, who are in your circle. But I did not get that. So I'm going to say that do not tell anyone in the infancy stages anything about what's going on. They will see it once it manifests, and some people will be able to see it sooner than others, but that's okay. You just want to have that cleared out, because you don't want to bring, a new idea and have all these extra weights or burdens, because you're not thinking about that, or anyone else's burdens onto your plate. So remember that. Never tell anyone your ideas during that infancy stage. Another way that I tried to write some of this down, but I know I didn't write this down, but I remember this. Another reason where you might want to move in silence, and it's going to help you, is if you're rebuilding yourself. I had an issue um, with me gaining weight during this process. My weight was going up and down, and that's because I was going in different climates, different social climates, not like physical, like weather climates, but social climates. And some of them had more stress than others, and I had to learn how to balance and regulate myself no matter what social climate I am in. So because of that, I was just like, man, like, okay, I can't get the resources if I'm over here. I can't, eat or do the things that I want to do there. But I need to get back to, back to me, back to the weight that I'm used to having. So I was like, I'm gonna do this. And I told another person, excuse me, I told another person who, I've had a fitness journey with this person before, and it actually happened really well. So I was really shocked at the response that I got once I told her about it. And she was like, "What are you competing for? What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's just for me to be healthy." And she's like, "Well, you can't do this unless it has some kind of, positive outcome on the end. It has to have something winning on the end. That's what fuels you." And I'm like, okay, well, that's true. Things like that fuel me. But what about the overall goal of being happy? I understand that if I don't exercise, if I don't eat healthy, I'm not happy. I'm just one of those people. I love to eat, but I also love to exercise. I love to get out. Like, I have to. So, um, and I noticed not only that, even when I put the effort in and we were going to the same gym, we were doing the same things, she still had it in her mindset like it wasn't gonna work. And it kind of messed up my psyche, because this person that I was around was also a fitness trainer, a current fitness trainer, a great, excellent fitness trainer. So and I had to reset my mind and just say, I almost felt like I was going to quit, because that was my closest outlet to, exercising. But something inside of me had me to go and just started redirecting myself to like-minded people, the other people who were in the gym, and it kept me going. Thank goodness. But yeah, anytime you are trying to rebuild, it is a better thing to uh, don't express those ideas. Write it in a journal. That's what I've learned how to do. Learn back how to do, because I used to do that when I was like about 7, 8, 9, and then I started going back in teenage years until people started reading my journals, and then now. But I understand the power of it now, and it's giving me so many great benefits, because that way I'm able to get what I need to get out, and I'm able to process it all and be able to handle situations better. Had I kept my mouth shut, and just worked out a little bit harder and just let the results show for themselves, she wouldn't have been able to put that seed of doubt in my mind. See, some people are dream killers and dream stillers, not intentionally, but some people are intentionally. Um, when you move in silence, you have less attacks. People cannot attack what they don't know. You don't give the enemy everything that you've been working for. You don't tell them everything because they know how to target you. Some people might sound, and when I say the enemy, I mean the enemy of put downs and thoughts. I'm not talking about a direct person that's saying that they're against you, but it could be a person that's directly against you. I'm talking about when you're surrounded around people who don't see your vision, who don't see your goals as relatable or achievable, and you still feel like you need to do it. Um, yeah. So people will attack. People can attack what they don't know. Um, Another thing was I had another friend who, during this journey, I told you I did the 10-day green smoothie cleanse. And I knew that for me, I have not, no, I've completed that around I completed a whole round once. But I know, like, when I get to day 4, I automatically lose 10 pounds. But if I go to day 7, I usually lose 25 pounds. But I did not like that regimen for me because I like to eat. Okay. I like to eat. I would rather eat something healthy than to not eat at all. So those smoothies every day sometimes kind of trigger me off. If I could have like a smoothie a day and then eat a meal, then that would be okay. Or a smoothie 1, 2, 3 days and then eat, healthy meals. That's better for me. But to eat, to have smoothie 10 days or 7 days or anything like that is very difficult for me. So, yeah, they knew that. So this person, it was another person that was talking about, like, how I meal prepped. I'm very good at meal prepping. I'm not good at the whole fad diets. Like I said, the 10-day, that whole thing. I'm not good at the whole jump starting thing. Dealing with food. If it's jump starting a project, yes, but the food, no. Exercising, yes. But I am good at setting a pace. I'm good at setting a pace with that. And so I stuck with that. And I was like, I can have my piece of chocolate and I can proportion it, do my calories, my carbohydrates in proportions, and get my proteins and, my veggies and everything. So I had this other person who was like, we know you like chocolate. And if you don't have chocolate, you need potatoes. Like, which is true. Most people don't know that I was raised with not having sweets like that. Like, the sweets that I would have is like sour sup, a fruit, or strawberries, or molasses, or like molasses on popcorn instead of sugar or whatever. Which molasses is kind of sweet, but natural stuff. So, and I would rarely have like the cinnamon candy little bears, like once every 3, 4 months. So when I got to an adult, it was almost like a drug to me. Like when I went to college, it was I was just so shocked you can do so much stuff, not taking baths, you didn't have to wear a bra. It was weird, but it was a learning experience for me. But anyhow, so I got addicted to candy, real candy, not fake candy. And potatoes. Like, I've always loved potatoes. I would probably eat potatoes more than meat. Um So, and it has sugar in it, of course. So, I had this one friend that's like, we'll eat this chocolate cake. I bought you this cake, knowing that I'm, on this proportion diet, knowing that that serving size is too much. And I would say, at first, I would say, I couldn't have it. Then I was like, you know what? I can't proportion. They're like, you can put it away. You can. Okay, well, I'll do that. But then after that, I started noticing they would buy me even more and buy me even more. And I was just like, okay. And then once I told them that I was off the diet, and I'm like, well, I can eat whatever I want. I just wanted to hear what they said. Oh, well, we're not going to buy it. We're not buying that. I'm done with that. And it's like, okay. So that was my opportunity to see the hater in them, um, and to also know that, because it wasn't, well, it was two people who did that, but that one person in particular, I knew that they were not rooting for me, and the other person kind of fit into that same category, but not at the same time, meaning that they always want to bring you back to a familiar setting. Some people who can't envision you being the new version of yourself, they're going to try to put you back into the old scenarios that they're comfortable in seeing you in. They're comfortable in seeing you being dependent on the cravings of sugar, or they're dependent on you being the old backslider, or being the old person that you used to be, being grumpy and being agitated, or they're used to you being the drug addict that they used to, know, or the party, party girl, the party guy, and the go-to dude for all the chronic. This is how people will do, um when they can't see you achieving your goals, or they see you going into the direction of achieving your goals, and they feel like they don't have a place in it, or they don't have a place in it, meaning that they don't want to grow, and they don't feel like they can grow, but they see you moving towards that way. So in this case, in this scenario, it behooved me, I learned that it behooved me to keep going, but to move in silence. Don't tell people what you're doing. Don't tell people when you're on diets. Just like when they tell you in the Bible, don't tell people when you're fasting. Don't tell people when you're on diets. That's one thing I've learned, and to not only that, curb your appetite with staying away from those people. When you see someone who is trying to push something on you, which you're trying to get rid of, anybody who's doing that is not your friend. They don't have your best interest at heart. I don't give a care if you're saying that you don't like. I have one person that I was cool with, and I considered a friend, but I told her that I don't like astrology. Like, I don't partake in it. If you want to do it, that's fine, but I don't want to really hear about it. I would prefer you not, talk about it, because I used to be definitely, it was something that I'm just not into anymore. So, I noticed that all of a sudden she would bring it up every single conversation we would have. And I literally had to stop her. And then she would say, okay. And then it would go back. So I was like, you can't be, if I continue this relationship and this dynamic, because obviously boundaries are not being respected, I need to separate myself and go around the people who are willing and able to respect that. So, and that's what I did. No questions asked, no nothing else after that, because it was quite a bit of time, and eventually she got the hint. Um, and she for a minute stayed away, but she straightened up to the point where she doesn't say that anymore. So, um, yeah. Um, I talk about the being better version of yourself. Whenever you're trying to be a better version of yourself, they're coming. The haters are coming, and you're gonna start seeing that more and more and more and more and more. Once you get closer to your goal, you're gonna start seeing the people, and the people that hurt you the most are the ones that are closer to you. But when you're doing this, when I say move in silence, I mean it's if I say move in silence, I'm not saying being quiet or antisocial. Sometimes you will have to separate yourself from people. No, most of the time you have to separate yourself from certain people because you're trying to do something different, different for you. So if you're being your better version of yourself, your old former self, you can't do the same things that you used to do. So you're gonna be leaving some people behind. They're not gonna be happy about it. Some people are not gonna remember because they're so focused on tuning into themselves, so they might not even see or notice that you have changed or anything. They just know, some of them just know that you're not there, or they're so in tune that they don't know that you're there, but they'll know that you've changed once you've fully developed. That's the reason why you need to move in silence, because, and they don't have time to attack you too. They don't have time to attack you. I think about this project that I did. I did this project, and it was dealing with the homeless. And I was telling people everything that I was doing at first, and I noticed that every time I would tell somebody what I was doing, things were getting attacked, things were getting knocked down. Um, every business idea or things that I was bringing to, or proposals that I was bringing to the table, was getting knocked down, canceled, or stolen. And I mean that. Um, it was only until when this lady told me, she didn't know me from a can of paint, and told me, "Look, you're talking too much." And thank goodness for her. You're talking too much. Some of y'all are talking too much. You don't know who your enemy is. Just be quiet, and you'll see who your enemy is. If you be quiet enough, you'll see people's reactions to things, and you'll be able to move around. You'll be able to see the haters. Okay, so that brings me to the next one. Okay, the next reason to stay fit and to move in silence, one of the best reasons, I think this is the most important one, is when you are around a bunch of people who are haters. And I've already talked about people who are stealing your ideas, people who are knocking them down, people who are doing those things. But I don't talk about the haters. Okay, haters, these haters are not the people who hate your guts. These are the people that you are surrounded by, and they are not doing anything with their lives. They're doing the same old. And you used to do the same old too, you know. You might just did it at another level. You know, I was in that whole stuck place too, doing the same old. I would do a little bit more, just to do a little bit more, to where it was acceptable. And even when I was given the gift to move up higher, I would be like, okay, I can't move up because I know I'm going to get this kind of attack from certain people. So I will only go so far, but it toddles with said it toddles. Yes, it toddles with your spirit when you don't become your best version of yourself, when you don't go higher, when you don't try to achieve. And I'm not talking about the occultic version of your best version of yourself. I'm talking about being the best person that you possibly can be at that present moment, moving into your full capacity towards your destiny. When you are doing that, like, that's what we're on this planet to do. So yeah, those are the people that I call haters. They're not trying to tap into their full potential. They're not trying to tap into being better, productive people. They are just here living for the moment. They're living day to day, not putting anything in for tomorrow. Just doing the same old. Nothing that's productive today. It won't last for today. It won't last for tomorrow. But they will see that you are doing something productive, and they'll come up with side moments like, well, look at you trying to be prepared. Look at you trying to be save a whole. You trying to be breaking. Oh, excuse my language. You're trying to be save a, you know what? Or you. I remember when I started saving more. I had to cut back on a lot of things. People would laugh and, oh, you just being a bummy. What's the name? Oh, you ain't got your lashes did, and you did this. But I knew I had a goal to doing something bigger. I knew that eventually later on I would be able to do those things and more, but I had to give up something, and that's what I was in the process doing. I was just I cut my expenses down. I worked twice as hard. I would work two jobs when they were working one. And they like, why are you doing this? You need to take, first of it is an insult. They making jokes about it. Then when they see they can't stop your hustle, the next thing they're gonna say, well, you need to take a break. You're working too hard. And then if you wasn't working too hard, they'll be like, well, you ain't doing, no, you can't do that. You got to stay focused. And they see you staying focused, they're going to find another way to attack. Then when they see that and they see you're hustling, then the next thing you know, they're going to try to exclude you from things because they see that you are on your way. So they can't fit themselves in there. So they're going to try to tear you down no matter what. If you telling them your ideas and these people see that you're going places and that they're not going, they're going to start bringing dissension and strife among people who you're trying to make relations to. I've had that happen too, and it's a terrible thing. Eventually some of that stuff cleared up. A lot of it didn't. A lot of it didn't, and it was the consequence of me opening my mouth and not moving in silence. So if you guys can remember that, watch out for those haters. That was like the number one thing that really got me in there with that. The last one, No, this is the one before the last. The last before the last one. Okay. So the next one is if you are looking for a new occupation. If you are looking for a new job, don't tell anybody that you are looking for a new job, okay? Because these people, some of these people are in the same situation. They in the same situation. Your coworkers are in the same situation as you. If you hate your job, chances are your neighbor hates their job too. It might be some of them that do, but if people in general want to see you do better, most people want to see you do better, but they don't want you to get better than them. So if they think that you got an opportunity and you saying, "Oh well, you work at, say for instance, you work at Kroger and you went and interviewed at Target because Target pays you $1.25 more, hypothetically more than Kroger, and you like they got better benefits, blah blah this, blah blah that. The people that you're listening to, that you're telling this to, they can get jealous, and most people do. Like I said, some people they don't. Most people don't. They want to see you succeed. They just don't want you to be better than them. Okay, so they're sitting there. Well, you're gonna leave me, and they're getting $1.25. Well, I'm gonna go over there too. And why shouldn't you? Not only that, which now this is limited your job, your time to get out, because they might only have a couple of slots, and the slot that they get might knock you off. Another thing is that those same people are going to spread and tell someone else, so and so looking for another job. They getting ready and not thinking that they're not intentionally trying to hurt you, but they can tell the wrong person, which usually happens, y'all. It usually happens, you know. And I know this is kind of bad, but I've used this tactic a lot when I try to get things across. People gossip at work. Okay, people gossip at work, so it behooves you to move in silence, especially if you have things against your boss or anything like that. If you don't want it to get told or have backlash, you don't tell them. Your coworkers, especially your coworkers, they will get up there and they will tell your boss, and your boss will say, okay, and try to find, they can find ways to fire you. People do that, and that happens a lot. When I have my clients and they come in, a lot of them tell me these stories about how they were trying to move. They hated their job, but they just tried to work on it until they got another job. And some of those people got fired before they even got another job. Why? Because they opened their mouths to people who are constituents and not friends, or in friend zones about that. You can't give your information, you can't cast your pearls to swine. That's what the good book says. You cannot tell everything to people who are going through the same situation, who haven't overcame it. You just cannot. um the only time that excuse me the only time that is good is when you're telling negative things and you guys are all dumping things on. That's why they have those groups like let's see, a domestic violence group or a narcissistic group. It's just to get all that toxicity in the air, let it out on the table, then move forward. But with a coworker situation, you're working with each other constantly, so it's repeating, it's going in a circle. They're not dropping the information that they receive from you or you receive from them on the floor and going back to work. That's not how it happens. It always manifests because you're in day-to-day interaction. So don't don't tell people at your job what you're doing. Move in silence. Okay. Move in silence. Don't tell them when you're about to get a new job. That's so important. Okay. Another reason why you should move in silence, I think I hit this before, is that it limits debates. No one can put any negative, and that's almost like a recap of the first. No one can put that negative energy or that negative doubt or any type of bad vibes in it, and you can have time to work it out, because when it's a new idea or a new thing, you're going to have slip ups and things are not going to happen as you think they are. But with time and you keep working on it, it gets better and better and better, so you have more time to focus on your craft and the things that you want to manifest into this world and to do in this world, versus dealing with manifest, bringing things into creation here, and dealing with the negative energy and the negative things that people are saying, and things like that. No one can knock down what you're doing if it's already done. So that eliminates people from knowing, what is going on when it's already done. They have no other reason, they have no other thing to do but to accept it and move on. Some people are not going to accept it, but we know that that's an illusion because it's already there. It's already there. When I had this one I did it, I talked about previously, before, and it ended up coming to fruition. There were a lot of people who talked a lot of mess about it and said it would never happen. But once it happened, there were a lot of people who turned their views around and welcomed me up with open arms. Had they been on a journey, would that happen? Probably so, but I would have been so worn out more than what I should have. I wouldn't have had that time. I would have had my time split, so uh, yeah. So that is it. Those are my things with moving in, staying fit and moving in silence. And during this time and age, we are dealing with a lot of people dealing with emotional, manipulative issues, emotional bondage, physical bondage, spiritual bondage, mostly emotional and spiritual. So, hopefully, this has helped you get some kind of insight on how I deal with it. If you guys have any um, extra comments or any things that you would like for me to talk about, or that you would like to bring to the table, because it's not just for me. I'm understanding that it's bigger than me. I'm understanding that it's so much greater as I grow and as I go through this process. Um, yeah, I know it's not me. And yeah, so I welcome every comment, every post, every good comment and productive comment with open arms. Um, Thank you for the people who have subscribed to my channel, who've taken the time to actually look and see what my content is about. There are so many people who are on here, and they're posting everything, and some of them are good and some of them are bad. But either way, it's your decision, and I would never want to take that from you. So the decision that you made to watch me, I want to say thank you, and I'm so humbly grateful for that. So, and never think that that's for granted. Um, Also, another update with my mom. My mom is in the hospital as we speak right now. So definitely say prayers for us, and hopefully we'll get through this. Um, yeah, and we're still in the process with Patricia's Sanctuary. So if you guys would like to donate, definitely leave a comment in the link below. Thanks. And hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem. Thank you.